Are you guys still living in Moran?
We are. We're working on renting our house out for the winter. So.
Jake is not teaching anymore, right?
No, and I was teaching elementary school and I quit as well. So we're looking to doing some traveling. And,
Cool.
yeah.
Good for you guys.
I'm a little, yeah.
My dad's a lawyer and he's always like, might be another lawyer for a job.
That's
So
good for them.
Be able to find that doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's go to the grocery store. He seems so happy.
Oh, yeah. We're really excited. I decided to do that probably in October of last year. So
Oh, wow.
the school year back on the long ways.
Yeah, Julie had a challenging year.
Mm-hmm.
Just all the gravy.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, girl.
Some PJs and I guess having a juice, but girls, bring your class, okay? Can you say namaste and have a beautiful, blessed class?
Bye.
Something like that, sure. I mean, we can refresh
Yeah.
our hair. Good.
So are you still teaching?
Yeah, actually, I got back into this.
Yeah.
I've been done it longer this year.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I've loved it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You were there last year?
Yeah.
Cool. What are you doing there?
Special ed.
Okay, that's right. Awesome. Have you been at Hunger for summer school? Do they have summer school or is it just at Coulter?
It's at Coulter,
Okay.
but all the dual kids are kind of separate
Oh, okay.
from the traditional kids.
Yeah.
That's been fun. Kids like do some field trips and project-based learning.
That's awesome. Yeah, exactly. It's like, can we do this all year round instead of just when it's summer? Hi. Oh, yeah, no problem. Are you Zach?
Yeah.
Okay, Kyla. Nice to meet you. Yeah, whenever you guys are ready. Yeah.
Shoulder bug me so bad.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like, they'll follow you, that's fine.
Yeah, and just let me know if something's wrong, I can try to give you another explainer.
I don't know what I'm doing. I think it's just great. I didn't,
Yeah.
now I should just stop yoga is what it is. I can't. I feel good.
Yeah.
Every other people.
Right.
And then I'm doing 32 classes.
Yeah.
It's too much.
That's, I used to practice a lot of vinyasa, and now I moved away from that for those reasons. Okay, so we're gonna start seated, so you can grab your bolster. We're gonna sit up on some height. Okay, and if you're at home, you can join us as well. Grab whatever support you have. And today, we're gonna start with your feet right underneath your knees. So a lot of times when we sit, we'll sit in a more advanced posture like this. And today we're going to try to get equal weight to the sit bones. If you notice that your knees are higher than your hips, I'm just going to bring you a little bit of extra height to sit up on. Just and then, and that's not uncommon here for tight hips. And what we're trying to get is the knees the same height as your hips or a little bit lower. You're welcome. And then for today, walk your feet directly underneath your knees. You can take your hands to your knees and feel down, see if you can feel your feet. Good. And then make your thighs heavy. Allow your knees to move closer to the floor. And bring your palms to your thighs. The webbing between your thumb and your pointer finger points directly at your knees. Hands are about mid-thighs. And when you're ready, you can close your eyes. Begin to feel down into your sit bones. Notice if one sit bone is heavier than the other, if you're tilting to one side. Loosen any gripping in your hips. And see if you can shift your weight so that your sit bones are weighted evenly. Release your thighs completely. And extend up through the crown of your head. We'll start class with the sound of 3 ohms. So you can bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Keep your chest lifted up towards your chin. Exhale all of your air and take a slow, smooth, complete inhalation. Gently bow your head. Place your hands down on your thighs, palms face up. Slowly raise your head with closed eyes. And then take a moment to feel back down into your sit bones. Notice if any gripping snuck back into your hips. Gently release that. And then flutter your eyelids open. Okay. We're going to start in Utthita Trikonasana today. So you can take your bolster off your mat. And if you have 2 blocks today, I'm going to have you set them both up on the long edge of your mat, the back of your mat. So if you're in the room, you can turn to face me and then place your blocks on either side of your mat. If you only have one at home, you can just place one on the right side of your mat. And then stand in the middle of your mat. Mounds of your big toes touch, heels touch in Tadasana. Good. Lift all 10 of your toes. Press down into the 4 corners of your feet. Keep those 4 points grounded and gently back down. Good. Grip the fronts of your legs. Yes. Take your hip thighs back. Yeah. And then release your low back. Good. Extend up through the crown of your head. Good. Take yeah. And then good. Step your feet apart 4.5 feet wide, so wider than you may be used to. Turn your whole right leg out to face the short edge of your mat. Turn your left toes in. Good. Straighten both legs completely. Straighten both arms out from your shoulders. And then simply bend forward. Take your right hand to the block, left hand to your hip to start. Good. Jay, you can step your feet apart a little bit further. And if you're comfortable, you can take your socks off. We'll just get a little grip. If you don't want to, that's totally fine. Okay. Start by setting your foundation. So look down at your right foot. Press the mound of your big toe firmly. In the side of your heel. Grip the front of your leg, just straighten your leg as much as you can. Yes. So if you know that you have the tendency to hyperextend your knees, keep a tiny micro bend in your knee to keep it straight, which is actually a lot more work than just straightening it. Yes, good. You can step your back foot back a little bit more. Yeah, good. And then straight. Yeah, grip that front leg again. Right here. Yes, there it is. Good. Group this front back more. So more to straighten it more. Yes, good. Now look at your front kneecap. Notice what direction it's facing. The tendency is for the kneecap to point towards the big toe. Can you externally rotate your whole leg so that your kneecap points more in the direction of your pinky toe rather than your big toe? And then grip your front leg again. Yeah. And that external rotation can cause the mound of the big toe to get light. So can you again press the mound of your big toe firmly and externally rotate your leg to keep that knee clean out? Good. Yes. Bend it or sorry, straighten it a little bit. Yeah, right there. Take one more deep inhalation. Exhale, take your left hand straight up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, use that arm to pull yourself up. You can leave the block where it is. If you're at home and you only have one block, you can bring that block with you and then switch sides. So turn your whole left leg out to face the short of your mat. Turn your right toes in. Good. Both Zach and Jay, you can step a little bit further apart and then turn your back toes in. 2 straight legs, 2 straight arms. Over you go. Left hand to the block, right hand to your hip. And you can move your block behind your left shin so that your hand is directly underneath your shoulder. Good. Yeah. And then start by setting your foundation. So look at your front foot. Press the mound of your big toe firmly and see if you can get the weight in the center of that front heel. Good. Grip that front leg completely to straighten it as much as possible. More. Yes. Good. Good. Keep the mound of your big toe planted firmly on the mat. Look at your left kneecap. Notice what direction it's facing. And externally rotate your whole leg from your hip to take that kneecap out. Keep this grip. Even more. Straighten it a little bit more. Yes, right there. Good. And then check back in with the mound of your big toe. Can you keep the mound of your big toe firmly connected to the ground? Good. Kathy, you can keep your hand down on your waist, your left hand on your waist to start. Good. So can you keep the mound of your big toe planted firmly? And keep that external rotation. Grip here again. Yep. As soon as we take the mind off of one area of our body to another, the body likes to shift and change. So we constantly have to check back in with what's going on in our feet, our legs, to make sure our body is actually doing what we want it to do. Good. Take one more deep inhalation. Exhale, take your right hand straight up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, use that to pull yourself up and switch sides. So we're going to do that again. Turn your whole right leg out to face the short edge of your mat. Turn your left toes in. Look down at your feet, make sure that the distance between them didn't shorten as we switch sides. And then 2 straight legs, 2 straight arms, over you go. Left hand to your hip, right hand to that block, and take that block directly underneath your shoulder. Good. And again, start by setting your foundation. So look at your front foot, press the mound of the big toe firmly, get the weight in the center of the heel, and then grip your leg to externally rotate your leg. Good. Yes. Good. And externally rotate forward and grip, yeah, and grip here as much as you can. Good. Now, keeping your front leg exactly where it is, just place your awareness, place your mind in your left hip, and extend down your whole left leg to seal the outer left heel on the floor. Good. So the weight is on the back edge, the outside edge of the back foot. Yeah. and the mound of the big toe on the front foot. Now that you took your attention to your back leg and your back foot, check back in with what's going on in your front leg. Good. Check that your leg is straight. Press the mound of your big toe and externally rotate that leg. Good. Open your chest to the long edge of the mat. Stack your left shoulder directly over your right shoulder. And then inhale, take your left hand straight up towards the ceiling, fingertips point up towards the ceiling. Good. You can turn your gaze up to your left hand. If that's not comfortable for your neck, you can keep it looking forward or down at your foot. And in here in this full expression of the pose, oh, so Jennifer and David were still in the pose, just with your arm up in the air now. So same side, right hand on the block, left hand up. And in this full expression of the pose, can you check back in with what's going on in your legs? You can turn your gaze down to help you see what's going on. Press the mound of your big toe firmly. Good. Grip that front leg. And externally rotate that leg. Yes. Good. Yes. Take one more deep inhalation. Exhale all of your air. And then inhale, use that hand to take yourself up and switch sides. Turn your whole left leg out to the short edge of your mat. Turn your right toes in. Check the distance between your legs. And then when you're ready, 2 straight legs, 2 straight arms, over you go. Left hand to the block, right hand to your hip to start. And your left hand comes directly underneath your left shoulder. Good. Look at your left foot. Press the mound of your big toe firmly. And get the weight in the center of that front heel. Grip the front of your left leg from your kneecap up. And if you're watching your knee, you might be able to see it move up your leg as you engage. There. Yes. And externally rotate that leg. So keep just that movement for seconds. Yes, good. Awesome. Once you externally rotate that front leg, check back in with the mound of your big toe. Make sure it's planted firmly. Straight. Now place your awareness in your right hip and extend down your right leg from your hip all the way to the outside edge of your right heel. So the outside edge of your right heel is firm and the mound of your big toe on your left foot is firm. Good. Open your chest to the long edge of the mat. Step your right shoulder over your left. And then take your right hand up towards the ceiling. Fingertips point straight up towards the ceiling. Good. Take your fingers together completely to form a blade with your hand to help contain the energy. Good. And in this full expression of the pose, can you check back in with what's happening in your legs? Looking at your legs helps to build that mind-body connection.
Sure.
Good. Take one more deep inhalation. Exhale all of your air. And then inhale, use that arm to help take yourself up. Turn your toes to face forward. And then step your feet together back into Tadasana. This time you can take your feet hip distance apart. Good. Lift all 10 of your toes again. Press the 4 corners of your feet. So the mound of your big toe, the mound of your pinky toe, your inner and outer heel. Extend your toes away from your body. Yeah. And then slowly let them come back towards the ground. Good. Engage the fronts of your legs. Yes. Good. Take your hands Everybody take your thighs backward. Yeah, and then release the grip in your buttocks. Just let that go. Yeah, yes. But now you're focusing forward, so yeah.
I've got a lot of curve in my lower back. So.
Yeah, yeah, so you can release that, just let that go. Good. Extend up through the crown of your head and allow your shoulders to fall down your back. Notice how this Tadasana is different from the previous Tadasana beginning of class. And then you can take your blocks off of your mat, grab your chair, and turn your chair so that the chair seat faces you. Place your chair on the short edge of your mat. Great. We're going to take Parsvottanasana. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and go in with me. You're going to take your right big toe right in between the front legs of your chair. So really move it so it's right up in line. Good. Step your back leg back about 3.5 feet back. So not as wide as the previous pose. Your back foot turns in about 45 degrees. And look at the spacing between your feet. So we're going to take a little wider stance just to help with balance today. So your left foot is on one side of an imaginary line and the heel of your right foot is on the other side of that imaginary line. Good. And then simply put your hands to the chair seat. Good. So we're going to start here. And before we do anything, I want you to place your awareness in the two sides of your body. So the two sides of your torso. Parsvottanasana translates into intense equal side stretch. So see if you can notice if one side feels more constricted or shorter than the other. And it should. Normally, when we just land here, one side will feel more shorter than the other. So we're going to start working to bring back both sides. And the foundation, our feet. So look at your front foot. What you can't see of it, it's hidden a little bit by that chair. Press the mound of your big toe. Get the weight in the center of your heel. Engage the whole front of your leg. Good. And now press again in the mat through the mound of your big toe all the way up your leg to take your right hip back. So on this side, when the right foot is forward, the tendency is for the right side of your torso to be shorter than the left. So we're going to work to lengthen the right side of your torso. So again, press the mound of your big toe on that front foot and take your right hip back. Now place your awareness in the outside edge of your left heel and press from there all the way up your back leg to take your left hip forward. So right hip moves forward, right hip moves back, left hip moves forward. Can you give you an adjustment? This looks really, really good. Yeah, good. Again, right hip moves back, left hip moves forward. So drop this hip down towards the floor. Yep, but keep this back leg straight. So we're gonna just shift this thing. Yes. And now reach through your chest. You got it. Yes. Good. Now take this hip back again and drop this hip down this way. Like that, but keep your shoulders where they were. So yes. Good. I know there's a lot of parts. Keep the front of your legs engaged to help protect the back legs as they open and stretch. Yes. And now reach through here. Pull your elbows in. Yes. Here. Yes. Good. Is it okay if I give you an adjustment?
Yes.
Take this in. This one forward. Good. And then reach through. So keep your shoulders down your back, but just lift your chest. So release your shoulders down. Yeah. And even your shoulders more. Yeah. Good. Breathe in and out through your nose. Yes, good. And check back in with the weight in your feet. As we stay, the feet can be left behind. So can you press the mound of your big toe of your front foot again? Press the outside edge of your back heel. Good. Lift your chest through your arms. Yes. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose as we stay. Again. So down. Yes. But then keep this back. Where it was. Yes. Good. Can you find a moment of ease in the dis-ease you may be feeling? This can be an intense stretch of the hamstrings. Lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling any amount, which will bring more stretch to the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. Good. Yes, good. And notice if any tension is creeping into your jaw, your neck. Release your efforts there. Yeah, good. One. Exhale, foot forward, and just come up asana for a moment. So your feet can be hip. Reach your head. And notice how that pose landed in your body. One side of your body or different from the other side of your body. Switch sides. So your left toes come into like the chair. Step foot back, back. And look down at your heels. Your left heel is going to go to the left of an imaginary line. Right heel goes straight. Right turn in. Good. Before you make any adjustments, just notice how this pose feels when you just come into it without any intelligence in certain parts of your body. Notice if you side of your notice where your weight naturally falls in your feet. Then we're going to begin to bring equalness to both sides of your body. So press the mound of your big toe on your front foot. Front leg. Good. And press through your toe to take your left hip back. So this side, the tendency left side body to become shorter. So we're going to tip back, the right hip forward. So press into the side edge of your back foot. Yeah. All the way up your leg to take your right hip forward. And the tendency, or one tendency, you can go either way, but notice, drop and look down at your pelvis, look at your hips. Notice if your right hip is higher than your left hip, lower than. See if you can bring them in alignment. Yes. Drop this hip down towards the floor. Even more.
I'm taking it in my knee.
Yep, so to keep your torso, yes, good. So that just sits. Okay, your torso lifted. Yep, good. But keep your, yes, your low ribs in. Here, yes. And then keep that in there, good. That looks really good. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. So take this foot back, just 4 inches. Yeah, that's going to give you more space than over your front leg. Good. Take this hip back and drop this hip forward. Yes. And now lift with your chest. Awesome. And notice which side may be a little easier for you to get into and which side is a little more challenging. We all tend to have one side that's a little more constricted, harder to move into the pose, and one side that's a little bit easier. Straighten this up just a little. Yep, your low ribs in. Good. Notice if any gripping is sneaking into your jaw. Your shoulders back. Yeah. Good. Release any tension in your face, your neck, your jaw. Keep the effort in your legs. And lift your chest up towards your chin. Bringing your chest through your arms, any amount. Take one more deep inhalation. And then exhale, step your back foot forward. Come back into Tadasana. Feet hip distance apart. Notice how that side landed on you. Good. And then you can set your chair to the side. Grab both of your blocks. Set them at the front of your mat, on the long edge of your mat. We're going to set up for Prasarita Padottanasana. So I like to, in this pose, so on the long edge of your mat, Ingrid, facing this way. I like to line up my heels with the back edge of my mat, just so my feet are in alignment. So you're going to set your feet apart again, 4.5 feet wide, and then be really meticulous with your feet. So line up your heels so that they're right at the back edge of your mat. Look at the outside edges of your feet and make them as parallel as you can to the short edges of your mat. Good. Lift all 10 of your toes. Yeah. And now press into your outer heels and the mound of your big toe. So your pinky toes become light, but they don't come off of the mat. So they're still connected. Good. And then slowly drop your toes down. If you'd like to keep your toes lifted, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Good. You lift all 10 of your toes up. Yeah. So keeping the toes lifted causes the feet to work more, but also helps to bring more balance. Good. Grip the front of your legs up. If you know that you have a tendency to hyperextend your knees, keep a slight bend in your knees. Take your hands to your chest or to your hips. Inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, come forward to your hands, and you can bring your hands to the high height of the blocks, the middle height, the low height, or even bring your hands down to the mat. Whatever height works for you, as long as your back is straight. If you come down to the mat and you realize that your back is rounding like this, then you come up onto height to keep your upper back straight. Good. So now that we're forward folding, check back in with your feet. Lift all 10 of your toes. Good. Press the mound of your big toe. Yeah. And your inner heel without lifting your outer feet. Good. Can you just shift your pelvis more toward your head? So shift. Yeah, right there. Good. You can step your feet apart a little bit wider. Good. Keep your elbows up. So Prasarita Padottanasana translates into wide angle foot posture. So we're really paying attention to our feet because the feet affect how the knees feel, how the hips feel. ultimately how your low back feels. Press down into your feet, grip the front of your legs again, shift your pelvis towards your head more. Yeah, good. Press more into your right foot. And now press more to your left foot. Good, there. Now you're here. Good. Lift your chest through your arms, just like we did in the previous pose. And see if you can bring a divot or a trough in your upper back. So you're digging this hole, this trough along your spine in your upper back. Good. Yes. Yeah. Press more into your left foot. Get more into your right foot. Yeah, more into your right foot. Yes, there. Now your pelvis is up. Shift your weight towards your head. Yeah. Good. Grip the fronts of your legs again and externally rotate your legs. Good. Yes. Good. Take one more deep inhalation. Exhale, crab crawl your feet so that they're a little bit wider than hip distance. Take another inhalation here. Exhale, take your hands to your hips, and then inhale with the straight back. Come on up. Step your feet back together into Tadasana. Good. Lift the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Allow your shoulders to fall down your back. Just notice how that pose landed in your body. Move your blocks out of the way. Grab your bolster if you have one. If you're at home, you can grab a block to use or another pillow. We're going to set up for Adho Mukha Svanasana or downward facing dog. We're going to use this bolster for support. So you can place it vertically on your mat towards the top edge of your mat. And then we're going to come down to all fours. Your hands are going to come on either side of your bolster. And if you're using a block, when you come up, you just might need to shift the block so that it lands on the top of your head, which is fine. Check that your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Check that your middle fingers are parallel to one another. You have equal spacing between your hands. And actually for today, let's all take your hands out. So your middle fingers point towards the front corners of your mat. So your hands are turned out slightly. Press the inner triad of your hand. So that's the base of your pointer finger, the base of your thumb, and your inner wrist. So your outer wrist becomes light, but it doesn't lose the contact with the mat. Good. Everybody take your knees back, just an inch. You are going to take a wide dog. Flip your toes under. Inhale, lift your chest through your arms, lift your sit bones up, your abdomen drops down towards the floor. And then exhale, keep your head lifted as you straighten your legs. Keep your head lifted. Your head comes down last, and the goal is for the top of your head to land on the support beneath you. You want a solid connection with your head. So if your head is floating, I'm going to ask that you come up to grab some more support for your head, or I'll come and help you. And I'll just slide this back. Just more cushy. Good. Make sure your chin open. Just like this. Yeah, you're welcome. So the goal is to get the top of the head. Good. Can you tuck your chin? Yeah. And then push into your head. Yeah. Straighten your legs. Yeah. And then you can even slide your head a little bit further. Yeah. Good. So with the support in your head, it gives us space and time to stay for longer and really let your head become heavy. So this pose, this variation of downward facing dog with the head supported mimics the effects of headstand. Without placing the rest. So straighten your arms, and you could even move your hands forward on your mat. Yeah, there you go. Good. Press the inner thighs of your hands and stretch your arms as straight as you can, reaching through your armpit, chest, through your side bodies. Yeah, and then let your head become heavy. So you might even need to step your feet back a little bit. Yeah. Good. So taking the weight in the head allows more space and freedom in the shoulders. So a lot of times when we stay in down dog, the shoulders become tired. They can start to have pain in the shoulders. So this just allows us a longer staying power. Take one more deep inhalation. Exhale, bend your knees. Take your knees to the floor. Big toes touch, knees are wide. Hold the bolster and whatever support you have in front of you. And rest your torso on that support. You can turn your head to one side or fold your hands and place your forehead on your hands. And release. If you're using a block, you can place your forehead on the edge of the block and then bring your arms either down by your side or leave them up. And allow yourself to release. Allow yourself to relax. Let all of your effort go from that downward facing dog. Release everywhere. So we're going to do that pose again. And so while you're still here in child's pose, we can mentally rehearse how we're going to get into the pose. You know where we're going, we're just there. So without moving yet, when we go, you will press yourself up with your hands, come to all fours. And remember, the goal is to get the top of the head firm on the support beneath you. So now you can go ahead and straighten your arms, turn your head to face down. Place your hands at the far edge of the bolster, and this time you can decide if you want to turn your hands out or if you want to have them facing forward. Good. Come up onto all fours. Move any support you have behind you. Good. Check the placement of your hands. You have equal distance between your fingers. Your shoulders are directly over your wrists. And then on your next inhalation, look up through your arms. Lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Top of the head comes to the bolster. Good. Yes. Allow the top of your head to become heavy. And your elbows, just for a moment, bend your elbows slightly. Yeah, and really let your head become heavy. So this isn't the strongest downward dog you've done. We're doing this pose more for the therapeutic benefits of the pressure on the top of the head. And with the neck constricted, with the throat closed, that helps to bring new life to the thyroid gland, right at the front of the throat. Good. Your head down into that. grip the fronts of your legs, straighten your legs as much as you can, and lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling in any amount. Release your jaw, release any tension in your shoulders, your neck. Sure. Yeah, you can even your hands. Yeah, reach up your chin. Good. Find a moment of comfort and the discomfort you may be feeling as we stay. Take one more deep inhalation. Exhale, bend your knees. Big toes touch, knees are wide. Pull that bolster in. And if you turned your head to one side last time, turn it to the other side. You can bring your forehead straight down if that's more comfortable and rest it on the edge of the bolster or on your hands. And allow yourself to release completely. Let go of the effort of that pose. Release your jaw, your neck. Allow your shoulders to fall on either side of your knees or on either side of that bolster towards the floor. Release your hips completely. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up. We're going to set up for set 2 Bandha Sarvandasana. So if you have bolsters at home, I'm going to ask you to grab 2 bolsters if you have them and a strap. If you don't have 2 bolsters, you can just grab 1 bolster and then you don't need a strap. And if you're in the studio, I'm going to have you use one of each of these bolsters. So you can use one of these ones. These ones are more firm. So these are what our shoulders are going to go. So you can set it up like I have it. On your mat, make sure you have a lot of extra room for your shoulders and your head. And this brown or gray bolster is going to be the top. Yes, perfect. And then the colorful one will be in the back. So you can shift your setup just back, Jay. Yeah, good. Great. And good. If you just have a couch cushion at home, that works perfect and you don't need a strap. I'm going to show it with the strap first. And then if you don't have a strap or you're just using 1 bolster at home, your legs will just come wide. So if you have a strap, and you guys can go ahead and do this with me, you're going to unroll it. You're going to take the end of your strap through both of the D-rings. I'm going to go for the first one and under the second. You're going to make a loose loop for your ankles. So this is just going to help keep your feet up on your second bolster. So I'm going to have you watch me get in first, just because there is a couple tricks. You're going to sit right in between your bolsters, lay down with your whole torso and your neck supported. And so the goal is for you to not pick up your shoulders and your upper chest, which is actually harder to do than you might think. But the reason why we're doing that is so that your clothing and the skin of your back gets hold down your back, and that helps to open your chest. So to do that, you're gonna hold onto the bolster beneath you. You'll lift your pelvis and push yourself in the direction of your head so that your shoulders waterfall over the edge of the bolster. You're gonna keep pushing yourself until the tops of the shoulders touch the mat. You'll give yourself one more push, and then your arms and your legs will straighten. If you only have one bolster at home, then your legs will come, you'll straighten them together and then allow them to roll out, and they can even, your feet can go out towards the edges of your mat. Good. And if it's more, Jennifer and David, if it's more comfortable for your arms, because those are wider bolsters, you can bring your arms up in cactus. So your hands are up towards your head. If that's more comfortable for you, you can choose what's more comfortable for you. Keep sliding until your shoulders touch the mat. One more big push. Yeah, good. And straighten your legs all the way. So that your legs are, yep, good. Walk your shoulders underneath yourself so that you're lifting your chest more. Yeah, yes. So begin to let go of the efforts from today's class. And start by releasing the creases of your forehead. Release your jaw. Allow your lower jaw to come away from your upper jaw. Keeping your lips touching slightly. Release the front of your neck, the sides of your neck, and the back of your neck. Release your throat, your inner neck, and allow your shoulders to become heavy. Notice if you're pressing your head down into the mat, into the floor beneath you. And see if you can release your neck a little bit more so that your head naturally becomes heavy on the mat without you pushing it down. Release your arms from your shoulders all the way to your hands. Allow your hands to rest open with your palms up. Your fingers will naturally curl. Just allow that to happen. Allow your belly to become soft so that it rises on the inhale and falls on the exhale. Release your hips, your inner groins. Release your upper legs, your thighs, your hamstrings. From your hips all the way down to your knees. And then release your shins and your calves from your knees all the way down to your ankles. And if you belt around your ankles, allow them to be held by that strap. Allow your whole body to become heavy as you sink down into the support beneath you. You can continue to scan your body for any tension that's left over from class, any gripping, and just gently ask those areas to release. Each time you return to an area where you find tension, see if you can release a little bit deeper. Starting to unravel the tissues of your body little bit by little bit. And if you find that there's no more tension for you to release, you can focus your attention on your breath. Just noticing the inhale and the exhale without trying to change it. Notice where the breath enters the body at the nostrils, or how it feels as it travels down your throat. Notice how it affects your chest or your belly as those areas rise on the inhale and fall on the exhale. If you notice your mind wandering to the past or the future, just gently bring it back to the present moment by once again focusing your attention on your body, scanning your body for any tension to release, or bring your attention back to your breath, noticing the inhale and the exhale. Now let go everywhere, release completely, and go inside. Slowly bring your awareness back to your body. Bend your knees. You have a strap around your ankles. Just allow that to fall off. Roll onto the right side of your body, coming all the way off of the support. Rest on your side for a moment. Use your arm as a pillow. And then continue rolling to the right. Press yourself up with your arms. Allow your head to hang, make it heavy. As you sit up, find a simple position. Either on the floor or on a bolster. With the center, right at the center of your chest. Exhale all of your air and take a slow, smooth, complete inhalation. Namaskar. Thank you all for coming today. It's nice to meet you guys. Hi, Kathy.
Another great class.
Thanks. Oh, I just wanted to let you know, I forgot to tell Jen, I'm not going to be here next week. So there should be a sub, so the class will still happen, but I just won't be here, so.
Come back.
Yes, yeah. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay,
Bye.
have fun.